Hi there, gamers. Welcome along to the Game and Respawn Gaming Podcast. I am Respawn Rossco here with my good friend David Game. How are you doing, Dave?
I am well, thank you very much, Ross. It's been an awkward one, but we're gonna get right into it now. We're running a little bit late.
We are running slightly late on our schedule. Not that you care out there in Gamerland.
Oh yeah. They don't give a damn so much.
Just they don't care about the Ubers of this world and McDonald's.
No, they don't.
They might do if they're hungry. This is the very special, unexpected Game and Respawn podcast that is going to be focused on the Nintendo Switch. Yes, we have a name. We all got very excited this week when it was revealed that they were going to be dropping a trailer on us with a few details. And also we got a little bit of a teaser about the next Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a sequel from what Rockstar have confirmed. And we're also going to do our roundup of all the things on the gaming spectrum that have come up this week, as well as a little bit of a look at Battlefield 1 as I've been playing that. But we're going to dive straight into the Nintendo Switch. David, what did you think?
Fantastic. Again, we've been, shall we say, vocal kind of, not haters, but, realists about the Wii U.
Unconvinced.
It's got great games on it. So the marauders of the Nintendo wasteland. Basically, the Wii U, I will still stand by the Wii U is not a good console. It just had good games and great games, fantastic games. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I hear you. Now, that's that's one of. I love that game, Skells, Russ, Skells. But I'm not gonna go right. I'm gonna try and push through this. But the Switch was everything. It wasn't a surprise because those schematics leaked. But everything that it was rumored to be was exactly what I wanted. I was like, are they gonna combine their home console and their handheld? And it looks like they are now. They could still mess up on several levels, Russ. Battery
so
life,
many levels.
hard drives. Seriously, battery life, hard drive space, whether or not, their online connectivity, will there be any kind of trophy system? There should be. I know some people don't care. I appreciate that. But it adds longevity to a game and gives you that sense of reward beyond, I did something in the game that I've decided was an accomplishment. I don't care what you think. I care if Nintendo gives me a stamp. Give me a stamp, Nintendo. That's what I want.
It's basically like grown-up stickers. So, when you're at school, you want a sticker. You go to the dentist, which I need to do. You get a sticker, brave. And if a dentist gave me a sticker this week when I have this awful pain removed, then I'm going to be a happy boy. And when I play a game, I want a trophy, I want an achievement. So, yeah, stickers, please.
Russ, think about it. I've just had a better idea than stickers for Nintendo. Stars. Stars?
Ooh,
just
stars,
like you collect stars like you're doing bloody Mario?
Yeah.
Come on.
Coins.
That's it. Well, coins that when you get enough become a star kind of like the trophy level.
Yeah, now. Sell it, copyright.
We're cooking with fire now, Russ. We're cooking with fire. Right. So we saw a new Mario game in there. We saw Skyrim running on the Switch. We saw, obviously, the most important part is how they're combining the handheld and home console. It's basically what the Wii U tried to do, but probably what it didn't mean to do initially. It was desperate to get in on the tablet market, and this thing does. This looks like a proper tablet, and it looks like a home console. It does everything I want it to do. It was perfectly marketed to the gaming audience. That was the other side to it. There was no families in here. I didn't see a goddamn kid, Russ, and I was so happy, right? You have no idea how happy I am when I don't see children. That's the best. So, and I know you're a father, and that might hurt.
No.
It's just the truth.
No. It showed a man and a giant dog. That is the epitome of gamer. And the dog decided, right? Whoa. Time to go out, son. Time to go out. Get your little gaming system and let's go out. I want to run and I want to poo.
Highlight of it, two parts from me in that video, were the cool lady having rooftop buddy parties, right? So she's there playing the, like, you know, she's playing, I keep going to call it the NX because that's so embedded in me. She's there playing the Switch. She's like, oh, I'm really into this Switch. And all of a sudden, over the way, she sees her mates just having some sort of, I can't remember, like a barbecue maybe. It's like, hey, come on over. We're cooking stuff. And she's like, oh, but I really don't want to leave this game. And now I don't have to. Dun-dun. And she just pops over. I don't know if she leaps from that building over to the rooftop. It's not clear. But the best part about it was that, and the guys... the bit that really got me was
basketball.
And don't get me wrong, we're taking a mick, but that advert was fantastic. I will say, I thought everything about it hit the mark. But as just an extended feature, when they were playing basketball, the dude's on the side like, "Hey man, what you doing?" He's like, "I'm playing basketball." He's like, "No, you're not. We're playing basketball here." He's like, "No, I'm playing video game basketball, NBA 2K17." And I was like, "Oh wow."
Those guys were clearly playing basketball on this Nintendo Switch after playing actual basketball. Now, I played actual basketball for about half an hour and looked like I'd literally been in a swimming pool. There was no way, like, my hands would have been dry enough.
Switch after that.
I would have been a sweaty, disgusting, dripping mess of just, man, very, very tired.
You're forgetting, though, that these are like...
They were
These
athletic.
are like in their prime American dudes, like, you know, it's like, yo, I've almost got an NBA scholarship, man, you know, just come down here playing a bit of b-ball's no thing to me, and then I whip out my Switch, I'm playing a bit of Mario Kart.
Womb, everything.
But the Mario Kart thing was awesome. The fact that they showed the local co-op on the same Switch when they were in the van. On Mario Kart, and all the updated things. I think it was King Boo. There's so many like little bits that I've gleaned from, you know, like the experts in the field, like Per Schneider, who's been covering Nintendo for a long time, started off IGN before it was IGN, you know, all that. He did he's got a video up there now about all the Easter eggs. Like, he combed through that trailer, and I believe it was him who did the video. I'm hoping it wasn't just him who shared it. I definitely watched it. I can't remember. I was really tired this morning. But yeah, there's so many little bits that hint, and the new Mario game was the thing.
Yeah, the new Mario.
I want to see more.
Very Mario 3D. Very, very throwback to a bit of 64 looking Mario.
64. It's got a heart system. Tim Getty's pointed out from Kind of Funny. It's got a heart in the background, noting that it's not like a Big Mario, Small Mario dead. It looks like a heart system again. There's so much, mate. And that console really could bridge the gap. Can you imagine? We're going to have like Pokemon and Mario on the same system. There's going to be no fragmentation of the user base. That is what Nintendo always needed. So, you know, as long as the battery life's good, apparently there's an investors meeting next week. Okay. And more details are going to come out from that. So hopefully battery life's good. You know, we need, even if the internal storage is low, as long as we can throw in, like, you know, say a 500 gigabyte SD card, like something like that, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Well, you know, I think one thing that's got to come out is the specs and everything for people to be fully convinced. But just looking at the games running on it, we've said Skyrim, so you'd expect it to be maybe current PlayStation 4, Xbox One standard, maybe not what the PlayStation 4 Pro is going to deliver, and certainly not what the Scorpio is going to deliver in 2017. But you'd expect it to have a decent amount of stuff going on inside there for power. How that's going to affect the battery life, that's the big thing. But flash memory is cheap. Flash memory is cheap now, so I mean they could easily stick, you know, half a terabyte's worth of storage inside it, and like you say, SD card or some kind of plug-in device that gives you a bit more storage, or maybe kind of a shared storage where the unit that you plug into your TV has the biggest storage on it, and the unit that you take out, you can kind of put some things on that, and then, you know, switch it around when you're at home. It could be a bit more flexible than just one static piece of storage built in. I'm not a Nintendo person at all, really. I was a Mega Drive person growing up. I liked the N64, but not really followed Nintendo too much. But I am very, very interested in this. I thought it was really, really cool. One of the things that stands out is the controller, and should I say controllers, because there was such flexibility. There was the big kind of square chunky controller that got swapped into two little mini controllers, and then there was the traditional gamepad looking controller. So it could have something for everyone for getting involved here. I quite like it.
Yep. So, I don't know about you, mate, but that's all I've really got to say on the Switch at the moment, personally. I'm looking forward to seeing the details. We've had the good. Now we need to hear, what compromises we're going to have to make for this thing to not just be a dream come true. Yeah. And again, having listened to the kind of funny reaction of a lot of people, I do agree with a lot of their sentiment. They need to get the bad news out of the way now, so that we can get excited again for it. We don't want to be there at the end of February going, oh, I'm so excited for the NX, but it's got a 2-hour battery life and there's no way to charge it. Oh, okay, right, unless you're at home. That's the problem. So I'm hoping, the bad news has to come. We're going to have to swallow it. And hopefully it's sooner after this investor meeting, and we can get re-excited for Zelda in March for the Switch. I've pre-ordered it already, mate.
Have you?
So good. Yeah, shop 2, mate. I was already there.
Well, I just two gamers here who obviously do a lot of writing, do a lot of work on games and stuff. I am I would say 90% convinced of pre-ordering this. I would say I need a price. And I do think, and I was talking to fellow My Games Lounge writer Neil on this one, I think the price could actually come in quite low for the unit on its own. It looks like an accessory type console to me, where the actual base unit is reasonable, could come in at a similar price to what the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is now, and then the things that make them the money, if you like, and not obviously the games make the money for everybody, but I think like the additional controllers and all those kind of things, I think that could be where the money's made here, and how they market it as, it's a bit cheap, but you can get this if you want. So if the price point is good and reasonable for a launch console, and the specifications, battery life in particular, are good, then yeah, I think I'm in too. I think I'll be pre-ordering this just for the fact that I can bring my main games to work and do some reviews.
How high would you go price-wise on this console? Estimate.
I think if it's the specification of a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I think if they are to charge much more than what they cost, then they're going to have a little bit of resistance. I think 300 sounds reasonable to me.
I'd go as high as 400, providing the battery life's good. And as you say, yeah, a lot of the money's going to be made on the accessories end. So that's fine. That's always been a Nintendo thing anyway. They've always made a lot of money on the side accessories and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously, that Pro Controller, not going to be in the box. If it is, I'll be shocked. And we're all going to want that Pro Controller, Ross, as the core gamer base. We don't want to be using those little sandwich buttons. We gotta roll with that Pro Controller when it's in the TV. Yeah. I'm just really excited for the ports. I mean, apparently it is a touch screen as well. So I saw a lot of concern. I don't know about you. I was over on Twitter and people talking about, oh no, it's an exposed glass screen. I want the clamshell. And I was like, okay, I understand your love for the clamshell. I understand. But do you people not take care of your goods? Because here was the thing for me. They were talking about scratches. I have never once scratched my iPhone. Ever. That's never happened. I use it daily, Russ. So,
well, I mean, do you have a case on your phone?
No.
I don't have a case on my phone either. How much damage has your phone got on it, David?
I possibly internally, because I do believe I have dropped it, because the back of the iPhone 6 Plus is metallic and it's slippy, right? So that can happen. I've dropped it a few times, and not calling that manufacturer's error. That's me being clumsy too. But the actual damage to the front of that phone or anything like that, I've not a scratch, not a crack, nothing.
Yep, I've got a Galaxy. We're so advertising phones right now. I have the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge.
Oh, cool!
It's so cool, and it's glass front and back.
Has it blown up in your face yet?
That's the Note, dude. That's the Note. This one don't blow up. It just sends,
no!
It sends Samsung all your information, like where you are every second. So this one's glass front and back, and I have a son who likes to rag it around and chuck it. And yeah, not really much of anything to note on there apart from fingerprint-y type yak. So yeah, I don't know all these people that don't look after the stuff, that have broken screens, but maybe just, look after things.
I understand the concern if it's kids, but it seems like a lot of people are concerned for themselves. So that's the thing. Like, if it's kids and you're worried about them dropping it, yeah, that could be a concern. That is a problem. But for, the regular person, just look after your stuff, man. Like, no, it's not going to fit in your pocket. So you take a little backpack with you wherever you go if you want to take your NX. It's no big deal. Come on. It's got the little stands. It looks so cool, Russ. I'm so happy that I'm excited for Nintendo again. This is a thing.
That is
the
cool.
Wii U was, every time I'd hear about a game on the Wii U, I'd be like, but I got to play it on the Wii U. And now, if this thing's powerful enough, I might want to play everything on the Switch because I can just go anywhere with it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to go around the co-op and pick up some bread.
It's going to be cool.
I got a loaf of bread in one hand and Mario Kart in the other one, no problem.
The last thing I'll say on this, before we move on to talk about a bit of Red Dead, it was also really nice to see. They released a little bit of an infograph, and if you're on mygameslounge.com listening to our wafflings, there's a link on the article to the full details about the Nintendo Switch, and they've got a really nice list of third-party developers that are making games for it, and I was really pleased to see some of the really big names on there that are going to be supporting this console, because that is where they have massively struggled. And you've got, love them or hate them, you've got EA Games on there, which is huge. They've got Ubisoft on there, which is really, really good too, as well as Bethesda, Bandai Namco. They have got a real suite of other developers other than Nintendo for this one. And that really bodes well for what this console is capable of doing on the inside. They wouldn't make for something that couldn't run their games. That has me very, very optimistic along with everything else. I'm very excited for this console. The more I think about it, the more I want it.
Agreed.
You cannot sum it up any more than that, sir. Right, Red Dead Redemption. We had a little bit of teasing on Twitter from the gentlemen and ladies over at Rockstar Games near us up in Scotland. And we have been looking forward to this one for some time. I'm not a huge Red Dead follower, although I did enjoy Redemption. It was a very, very good game. I'm more of a Grand Theft Auto person, but I was very, very interested in this one. There was a lot of thoughts, and I put some things together on what the game could be called. They've called it a full sequel, Red Dead Redemption 2. We saw the trailer. What did you think about it, David?
Okay, so I want to clear one thing up first. I want to understand, I haven't been able to check, how did they market the trailer? Did they call it a teaser, or did they say they were releasing a trailer?
They said they were releasing a trailer. The first trailer.
Right, so there we go. Okay, that's a problem to me. I'm going to put it out there. I put it on Twitter as well, because it came directly after the Switch trailer, which was 3 minutes long, and it was everything we wanted to see about the Nintendo Switch, right? Now, Red Dead, I need no proof of Red Dead, to be perfectly honest. I need no proof from Rockstar that they're going to make a quality game. They always do. Whatever Rockstar comes out with usually just craps out gold, you know what I mean? So that's really not a problem to me. I didn't need confirmation of Red Dead. But then I kind of, I found myself drawn with the conversation. People really excited. GameSpot started up a live stream to talk about the trailer. I was like, well, how long was that trailer? Like 20 seconds? No one knew, so I assumed they expected a longer trailer. And it was, my thoughts exactly were, that was quick.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see anything about it that made me want more in a way. Like, I don't mean that in a way that I already know I'm going to play this Red Dead. I don't need to know. Like, Rockstar could have launched the game yesterday and I would have been like, oh, cool, Red Dead, I'll buy that. Everyone would have. Like, there's no question about it. They're one of the few companies that can do that. So the trailer, it set a tone. And I guess that was the thing. I really wish it was called a teaser, because it was a teaser. Come on. Like, this is the polar opposite of the movies now where, you know, it's like, Star Wars is coming, here's a teaser 15 minutes long, and that's an exaggeration obviously, but you know, there was like 3 full trailers they called teasers before the real trailer of Star Wars Episode 7, and like that's the movies, and everyone moans about that. And what bothered me about it was just everyone was like applauding Rockstar. Oh my god, it sounded so beautiful, it looks so good, look at the 7 people, it sounds like it's. I was like, hang on. If Nintendo would have released a 20-second trailer for the Switch saying, here it is, and disappeared, you'd have lost your bloody minds. The internet would have imploded, then exploded, then every other kind of oded, Russ. It would have just done that.
The internet.
All types of oded.
Oded. Just
exactly.
Oded. No, I was fully... Right, I'm sat there. So what I did... as the My Games Lounge newsy type person, we don't break lots of news, but we do try and break, you know, the stuff that you want to see as it comes out. And I'm there, and I've got one draft ready at 2:45, and that's the Nintendo NX, and I've got it all laid out. I've got my title, and I've got question marks where it says the new Nintendo console is called question marks. And I've got it there, and I've got it ready, and I'm ready to go. And as soon as it comes in, I'm like, all right, it's called the Switch. Boom, 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 boom. You know, get the press release, put the details in, get the pictures. I'm ready for all that stuff, David. I am ready. I do the same with Red Dead Redemption 2. I get a post ready. I've got all the stuff there. I'm like, right, I'm going to paste in all the endless details, the bullet points, the press release. Everything's going to go there, and there. I'm going to put my thoughts there. I've got images ready. Boom. And the trailer came in and just thought, oh, well, I'm not doing another post for that. I'll just put it in the one that I did earlier in the week and just say, updated. This now has a trailer. And it wasn't really, like, I agree, it wasn't really a trailer. It was a teaser. It was a little bit, hey, look at this world we can make. And it looked beautiful. There were some very, very nice graphical touches. And some of the scenery and the kind of the I thought the soundtrack was nice. It was a good fit. But overall, what did it actually tell us about the game other than, hey, this game exists and it's Red Dead Redemption 2?
Which we already knew. That was the thing. We already knew that had already come out, right? Red Dead Redemption 2.
It had been leaked. I think there'd been a leak of a map, and there's a leak of the game being apparently a prequel. I don't think the title itself may have leaked out. I'm not sure, but they definitely confirmed before the trailer. They confirmed.
Yeah, because I put on Twitter that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a stupid name. Unless it's justified in what they're doing. Yeah. Because that was definitely confirmed before that trailer, because I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yes, sorry. They did a news post on the Tuesday, and then on the Thursday they released the trailer. I mean, that was the thing. It was such a nothing of a trailer. They may as well have just done the two things at the same time.
Yeah, if you needed convincing by that teaser, if you needed Rockstar to convince you that Red Dead 2 was going to be Red Dead Redemption 2 rather was going to be worth looking at, like, you're not paying any attention. You don't know Rockstar then, because like I did not need that teaser personally, Russ. But and everyone was going wild about it, and I just felt like, you know, when you're just the one dude that's like, hey, does anyone see the floor?
Yeah.
Does anyone? Like, you're on that island and you feel like a douche because you're like. Yeah, you feel really like kind of out of place because you're not trying to be fun. Oh, I didn't like it. I'm cool. It's like, no, it's not that I didn't like it. It was unnecessary. We didn't need it, and we could all, unless you were going to go full blown and go. But then they've got till fall 2017, which will probably, knowing Rockstar, get pushed to December-ish. Like, just because Rockstar games always get pushed, and. They've always got more to put in there, and we always go, yep, we know, go for it, no worries.
Or they'll do a bit of what they did with Grand Theft Auto, and they'll release the single player reasonably.
And the online will be completely broke, yeah?
Yeah, the online. Well, they just won't release the online. They'll release the online.
But
maybe.
They did, though. That's the thing.
They did.
They did with GTA 5.
They did re-release it. They re-released it.
A year later, and then everyone gave them all their money and said, "Yeah, that's okay." Like, which was the worst part. I was like, they broke it for a year. It was broken for a year, and you all still went back and started flying planes and just dropping loads of money on Shark Loan cards. And now Take-Two and Rockstar know that no matter what they do, you will give them money. So, yeah, and, you know, far be it from me to say they don't make great games, because they make great games. So, you know, you got to give some concessions at that point. But, you know, it's still, again, it's just this double standard for Rockstar, where it's like, same with Bethesda, to be honest, is, you know, the can do no wrong kind of company. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, they can, you just ignore it half the time. Yeah. And this teaser was just, it was cool. I'm glad people are excited, but it just wasn't what we needed to see, especially after that Switch, like an actual trailer from Nintendo. The positions were reversed. I would have half expected that to come from Nintendo. Just Reggie stood there with the Switch going, it's called the Switch, see ya. That is gone. And like, no, instead we got, you know, cowboys. Once this is done, you're going to need to get the hell out of Dodge. And I know those aren't the exact words, but that's pretty much like what he's going on about. But on to the subject of Red Dead, like, you know, because we've been bashing it. We're not bashing it, but, you know.
Well, I think the thing is, we are criticising the release of the trailer, because they released a little bit of detail on the Tuesday and said a trailer was coming on the Thursday. I think if they just released everything at once, we wouldn't even be talking about this now.
I would have said, oh, cool teaser. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I remember what they did for Grand Theft Auto 5, and I can't remember the sequence of events, but I do remember there was a really nice narrated trailer that went on for a few minutes about what was going to happen in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it was really, really cool and nice to listen to. And that was what I was expecting when it was announced. Make sure you have your timer set for 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. But like you say, the subject of Red Dead, Band of Brothers style kind of idea.
Yeah, seven characters. It remains to be seen whether or not they're going to be controllable, like all 7 of them, and if they're going to like try and juggle that in the way they juggled 3 characters in GTA 5. I really do think that they're going to do something interesting with 7 characters. I do think in one way or another all these characters are going to be playable. Now, there's a lot of people that are worried about whether or not, you know, the success with GTA Online is going to push them more towards that side. I honestly don't think we need to worry about that too much. I think those are 2 separate entities that are going to come together in the same package, but essentially they're going to have that dividing line between the main story, which is what Red Dead's main draw was, Red Dead Redemption. People love the John Marston story. That's what, you know, don't get me wrong, the world was cool, the gameplay is cool, the music was awesome. It was all a very cohesive package. They're the best at their open world sandbox games. But the storytelling in Red Dead Redemption was what really got it its name. And that Red Dead Redemption 2, the only way that name works, Ross, in my opinion, is if it is a prequel. Because otherwise it's lazy marketing.
The thing with it being any further on than Red Dead Redemption, unless we start suspending reality, Red Dead Redemption was set really late. It was in the 20th century. It was like 1911 or something. Yeah, it was around. So I mean, there's not much Wild West left. No. So it's got to be before, maybe you know, the John Marston story before. You know, he was quite old with
his gang.
Yeah, with his gang. And the one thing that just screams out to me is these 7 people is co-op. I believe that the main campaign will be, maybe you can switch between which character you like, but I can see co-op. I can see it being very. They've said multiplayer a couple of times in the few details we've got, and I can see the main game being, you know, drop in, drop out, co-op with your friends, you know, take on the Wild West as a gang together. This is the PlayStation 4, Xbox One focused game, and they're all about playing together. They're all about the multiplayer. Obviously, they've got the relationship with Sony that they're going to maintain, so it is going to be, from what they've announced, there's going to be extra stuff on the PlayStation format. I think it's going to be drop in, drop out, co-op. Very much play the main campaign together as a band of gamers together exploring the Wild West. Now, that sounds really, really cool. I'm not sure I would do that. I hope that if I just want to go and do a mission on my own, that the AI of the other characters is good enough to support me if we're doing things as a group. But yeah, I do. I think co-op. I think that's the main focus. I agree with you. The online stuff will be a completely separate place where you can go and just... You might walk into it, maybe the Division style, where there's an area that's particularly for multiplayer to kind of keep the immersion there. I'm not sure how that might work yet, but
yeah, I hope that's not the case. The Division handles it kind of I don't really like the way the Division handles it personally. The more that time's gone on, the more I've soured on the Division, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
So
it didn't. It didn't.
No legs, mate. No legs. No. That's the issue. And you start to realise just how much of a spongy horde mode game the whole thing is. But either way, anyway, back to the whole Red Dead thing. I hope you're wrong about wrong about the co-op, right? I don't know how I feel, right? Again, like you say, what I basically want. I don't like the idea of people jumping in, jumping out, like into your posse kind of thing, and then because say you got a public game going on, someone jumps in, just takes one of your 7 dudes and runs away. You're like, well, where are you going? Like, come back, we've got a mission.
Come back with my 7 dudes.
I want to get a horse. And that's how I feel. Like, I'm really hoping that that's not the case. If they do co-op in any way, shape, or form in the main game, which I don't see a reason to when you have such a prevalent online base in Grand Theft Auto, which you're clearly gonna, migrate somewhat to Red Dead Redemption 2. You already have. You're gonna take your world and you're gonna maybe they'll put it further, like they did with Grand Theft Auto, put it further back in the timeline, and you just make your cowboy and you're just an outlaw in this world, or there's cool things they could do with either mode. But again, more than anything, it seems like they've set the mood really well, despite the fact that I do have my gripes with the trailer being a teaser rather than a trailer, and they tried to make it out to be an event when it really wasn't an event at all. So that was a bit of a mislead, you know what I mean? As a person that's been accused of clickbait, I'd accuse their trailer, which is actually a teaser, it's just a little bit of a clickbait. You know what I mean? It's just a bit of a, hey, everybody, we want your attention. It's like, oh, for 20 seconds? No, I'm good. I could have done without that. I really did feel like it was a waste of time to be sat there after the Switch trailer, really excited. It was just a bit of a deflation. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, yeah, I knew it was going to look cool. I wish I'd seen more than 20 seconds of it. So, yeah, I mean, I know there's probably going to be more soon. We'll get more at E3, no doubt. It's all that. There's going to be the whole marketing push. And we all know how that goes, as if people don't know that Rockstar games are, practical 9s, 10s every bloody time, with a very few exceptions. I got to say, the whole lead-up, I was kind of hoping for Bully 2. But, Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, Red Dead was lauded. I'm pretty sure that was 10s across the board for a lot of places. Again, not putting emphasis on scores, but, it was highly critically lauded, as well as, by the general gaming audience. People really enjoyed Red Dead, and there's some people that didn't, cool, but the general consensus is that Red Dead was fantastic, Red Dead Redemption. People are taking issues with it being called Red Dead Redemption 2, or erasing Red Dead Revolver, even though they've just released Red Dead Revolver on the PlayStation 4 as a PS2 original.
Well, that was the clue that something was coming to me. I saw that on the list, and I was like, why now? Why now? Is something on the horizon? Probably should have written something then, but yeah.
Not on the Zero Dawn, mind you.
No.
Oh! Right. So anyway, point is, that was terrible. Don't gratify me for that one. That was bad. That was awful. Right, we're gonna bleep that whole section out.
Can we edit that out, please?
You can if you want. I will stand proud of it. Now, no, actually, edit. Just get rid of it. But that's not the point. The point here is Red Dead Redemption 2 always looked cool. It was always gonna be cool. We didn't need the teaser, and it was a non-story, mate. In my opinion, there was no story there.
To only slightly disagree, the story it was Red Dead Redemption 2, and it was coming up in August. It's not August, sorry, autumn/fall 2017, which was done in the little announcement they made on the Tuesday. The wait for the trailer was a bit silly.
If they didn't leak the name and the date those 2 days, 2 days before, it would have actually had story to it.
Yeah.
Like, because Red Dead Redemption 2, this is definitely it, and Fall 2017. Oh, okay, we have news. We had that news Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
that was the thing. I did expect a narrated thing.
From them as well, not from like a leak. They gave out the details on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Come on, Rockstar.
They officially sent a press release out, and it said from Rockstar. But
I think someone knew, mate. I think someone, again, it's just speculation.
Yeah.
I think someone had the story and it forced their hand Tuesday.
Maybe the case. Overall, we know it's going to be good, don't we?
Exactly. I've got no doubt.
It's going to be amazing. And the question I've got now is Paris Games Week coming up. Could it see some more details there?
Straight up forgot about Paris Games.
I was only thinking about it today. It's 27th, I believe, is when it kicks off. Could there be more details there? It's a bit close to home. And second of all, this was something that I discussed with you on Facebook chat, and I'm just going to bring it to the gaming audience. It was obviously they didn't talk to each other about it. We had a bit of a conspiracy theory between us that maybe they'd announced the Switch at 3 and Red Dead at 4, because maybe that Red Dead was going to appear on the Switch as well.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. It actually, would have
cool.
had news to it rather than just a teaser. Yeah. So
yeah, it was a shame. It was a shame that, because I was sat there thinking, ooh, this could be quite a very interesting day. It still was, but yeah, they missed a bit of a trick, didn't they, this time? For once, Rockstar missed a bit of a trick.
Again, they did. I mean, this is just my humble opinion on this one, because clearly they didn't. Clearly, the internet still went wild for the teaser of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I am, again, in that regard, in the minority, I guess. But I do feel like Nintendo's Switch trailer had a big impact on how excited I was for something, and then seeing just a snippet, tiny piece of Red Dead was like, oh, well, it was like this very stark contrast on things. I wanted details. I was hungry for details, and Nintendo delivered, and Red Dead didn't. So that was my kind of point of view.
One up to Nintendo.
But either way, it looks incredible. So I'm not taking a single thing away from Red Dead, because I don't need to, and it wouldn't matter if I did, because Rockstar would come out. Yeah, Rockstar would still come out and land a good old, billions of billions of billions, the billions and billions of the Rockstar fans would just roll around and
you recovered well from your Horizon.
I did. That was a really good Dwayne Johnson one. There.
That was smooth.
I was caught between a rock and a hard place for that one.
Cool. Enough on the old Red Dead there. I think we're happy generally. I think it's been a good week. And
we have milked the teaser.
we have the teaser has been fully milked. It is one empty cow. So on to the David Game wrap up of gaming news. I don't know what you want to call it, but
I'm gonna say it's time to peruse the news.
Oh, nice.
Right, that is it. I am a rhymer by trade, so this is the thing. Okay, so I haven't had much time to piece these things together, so this has just been random things I've caught while we've been talking. So the Nintendo Switch games, as listed by IGN, this was done by cannot see whoever edited it. So sorry, whoever wrote this. Thank you very much, IGN. Right, the following games have been officially confirmed for release on the NX. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, this we knew. The untitled Mario game, of course, we saw that in the trailer. Splatoon Switch, possible Wii U update, so we don't know how that's going to go, but Splatoon is definitely on the Switch. Mario Kart Switch, possible Mario Kart 8 update. Again, there was, I do believe people pointed out, it's King Boo, who is not currently in Mario Kart 8, so it is either a new game or it's an updated 8. And 8 is good enough to be updated. It does deserve that, I think. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, we know this. Whether or not that's the special edition, I don't know. Just Dance 2017, the Holiday 2017 Sonic game, so I believe that's that Sonic Mayhem or whatever they're calling it.
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania, which is supposed to be this whole reboot for the original Sonic. Yeah. We'll see, because Sonic 4 was a massive letdown. So let's chill the beans for a little bit. Then we got Dragon Quest X, which is the MMO. from that they launched. It very successful in Japan, but Dragon Quest has never really done so well over here, which is unfortunate. Dragon Quest 11, which is the more interesting single player experience from what I'm aware of, that's not out yet, I don't believe. Looking forward to that. NBA 2K game, I assumed that was 2K17, Russ, on that trailer. But it's an assumption. And SteamWorld Heist is also there. So those are currently the officially confirmed releases for the Switch, which is still labeled as the NX on this article. IGN, nice. I know you're busy, but come on, edit. Come on.
Click the edit page button, people.
Yeah, you got enough. You're paying enough people to edit that thing, right? Polygon, over at Polygon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very important one, Ross. Don't know if you're familiar with this. Voice actors declare strike against video game companies.
What?
Yep, the SAG-AFTRA, which is the representatives of, it's like the union for the voice acting guild and motion captures and stuff like that. SAG-AFTRA represented actors want change. So that is Nolan North, that's Aaron Fitzgerald, that is Tara Strong. Tara Strong? Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Bloody hell.
He's gone, people.
Oh, dear. Wow. I really need water. It's been a really messy evening. Okay, so back to voice actors declare strike against video game companies. Trust me to do it on a serious one, Ross. Go through this. This is brought to you by Julia Alexander over at Polygon, and it says, after a week of negotiations between actors union SAG-AFTRA and various video game companies, the voice acting community has declared a strike against some of the biggest publishers and developers in the industry. SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, released a statement just after midnight on Friday morning declaring the strike against some companies, including EA, Activision, Disney character voices, and Take-Two Interactive Software. According to SAG-AFTRA, after 19 months of unsuccessful negotiations, striking was the only viable option left to ensure their concerns about safer work conditions for the voice acting community was met. It says in a quote...
That is interesting. Safer working conditions, so not pay.
Now, there's an element of pay in that may come down somewhere, but safer working conditions, more reasonable working conditions are a thing. In a quote, it's time for video game employers to take our concerns seriously and negotiate a modern contract based on actor safety, industry precedent, and best practices. Ray Rodriguez? My apologies, Ray, if you ever listen to this. I don't know how to pronounce your name. SAG-AFTRA's chief contracts officer said. Voice actor Keith Farley, I believe it's Keith, Keythe, you never know, reiterated that actors don't want to go on strike, but said that after close to 2 years of trying to negotiate contracts, this was the only way to have their voice heard. This not only includes safer working conditions, there have been reports of voice actors seriously damaging their vocal cords because of strenuous and extensive recording sessions, but also an increase in money they earn from projects. SAG-AFTRA is demanding a reasonable bonus for every 2 million copies of a game sold, upfront conversations with producers about projects they're working on, and concerns from actors about working conditions taken seriously. So, again, you can read the rest of this over at Polygon. The article's up there. It's pretty close to the top. So, Ross, I went to Twitter, as you do, for all great, direct news sources these days, and I checked out, because I follow a bunch of voice actors, because that's sort of stuff I want to do as well. And, I was I read one from Tara Strong as the voice of Harley Quinn in the Batman game. She's done loads of voices, but that's the one that most gamers will be familiar with. She does a fantastic job. She's great. And she said she was done when she sat down, looked dead in the eyes of one of these contract negotiators, and they said to her, that again, allegedly, this is just what Tara Strong has said, was said to her, nobody cares about the voices. And I saw that tweet, mate, and I was like, if that really happened, and I don't really see a reason for Tara to lie about that, given that, these actors are. But the problem that comes in from the other side of this, Ross, there's a lot of debate around this, is that they want to say, well, the developers do most of the work. That is true. That is 100% true. The development studio does most of the work, and they work under these crunch conditions. Their conditions are not fantastic. The problem with that argument, Ross, I will say I'm fully on the side of the SAG-AFTRA situation. Again, I probably would be, knowing what I want to do, right? So, I am biased in some way, shape, or form, but I do have an objective view, is that the developers have never done this. They have never unionized. That is their fault. It's their problem, and it's because the bigger publishers, these people know that they could just get another studio in, and they just sack them all. And if they had a union, they couldn't do that, because that's why SAG-AFTRA works. Because unionizing means that all for one, right? So if they all strike, what are you going to do? And this puts into question a lot of games at the moment. I don't know how far along Red Dead 2 is, but you got to imagine it's pretty much done. So I believe, according to something I saw earlier on Aaron Fitzgerald's Twitter, that was the voice of Chie from Persona 4 Golden, amongst many other voices. But there was a situation where apparently it's anything... She shared an article on this, and apparently it's any project started after February the 15th, 2015, I believe.
Okay.
Something like that, 2016 maybe. Yeah. But either way, anything after that is included in this strike. Wow. So you strike from it. Now again, I can't confirm for myself. I haven't taken a deep enough dive. But yeah, that is interesting, Russ. Again, the other side is they want to say that developers deserve more than the voice actors and whatnot. And I say unionize then and get together. But then, these are people that this is their salary and stuff. There's so much at risk.
I think the thing here is with someone who I know, I have one of them real job things, and if you are a developer for a company, you are an employee of that company, and as far as I'm aware, you're allowed to join a union such as Unison or anything that, I don't know what it's like in the US of A, but I mean, you are entitled to join a union as an employee. You've got a permanent contract. But these people that are coming in for the voice acting, they're coming in for maybe a month, 2 months, depending on the game. It might be longer, and they're doing the voice acting part in bits. So they don't work for that company; they work on a contract. So I mean, they've got to sort their union out separately of that company. They can't do that. So if they're saying that they're going to these places on a contract, and then obviously if you're getting paid by a company for 3 months' work, they're going to want to cram in as much into that 3 months as possible. They're going to want to work here from 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. Really get everything done as much as possible, so they don't have to pay an extra month of wages and contracts. And it's just not acceptable, and I'm fully on board with this idea that if these people are coming in to do the voice acting, and they do act now, they don't just sit down and talk into a microphone. They have things plugged in on the face, they have everything across the body. You look at something like the behind the scenes on Uncharted 4, where they acted out every scene. They're doing a huge job, and yes, they don't maybe do the same job or as much in length as the developers, but if they're there and they're working hard, they deserve to have their needs met, and if they need safer working conditions, they need safer working conditions. Simple as that.
Yeah, I've read so much about voice actors, research and stuff I want to do, and you hear about Yuri Lowenthal, voice of Sasuke Uchiha and voice of the dude from Sunset Overdrive, your main male character. Yuri Lowenthal's done so many pieces of work, and the thing he'll talk about is just how he does a lot of the supplemental sounds, the additional grunts and stuff, and screams and monster sounds. It's like all the monster kind of sounds and stuff as well. And that'll be like an 8-hour session. Yeah. And he'll get breaks and all that, but he's got to ruin his vocal cords just to make these sounds happen, and that's not acceptable. But it had to become acceptable for these people to, why are there people that don't want people to have better conditions? And then people bring up the developers, but that's their problem. The developers need to get their own line going on. They need their movement then. Just because you haven't made your movement doesn't mean that other people shouldn't, right? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, developers deserve more for what they do. No, they shouldn't be treated. No development should ever come under crunch. It shouldn't happen, because the planning shouldn't go that way. There should be sufficient planning to make sure these people get home and see their families and get paid for the work they do.
Yeah.
But then when that person said that nobody cares about the voices to Tara Strong, I'll tell you this. You're familiar with Troy Baker. Yes, Russ?
Just a tad. He's in everything.
He's voiced practically everything. I'm pretty sure everybody else is voice is Troy Baker's
Batman.
voice.
He's Telltale Batman.
He's Telltale Batman. He was
Batman.
Arkham Origins Joker. That's how he's getting in these doors. He was the lead in Advanced Warfare, if I'm not mistaken. Troy Baker is, he's just everywhere, isn't he? He's Pain in Naruto. That doesn't mean anything to you, but it means everything to anime fans that love Naruto. Troy Baker does just everything. And that dude. But I've got someone here. Do you know the studio art director over at Infinity Ward?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Yeah. What's his name?
Steve.
Oh man, Steve.
Steve Infinity Ward.
The thing about Brian Horton over at Infinity Ward is that guy. So you see, there is you didn't know he did studio art director. You wouldn't know that he worked on Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? You wouldn't know he did the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I'm looking at his list here. He's got a very impressive resume. What union is he a part of? This man probably deserves more than he gets for the work he does. As do many of the women, as do many of the people, however you identify. I'm sure you do. But you are not currently in the fight to do that, apparently. And that's on you. They are trying to get better conditions for their people. So I don't see how you can be against that. No. Unless you're against it for everyone and you're absolutely okay with the oppressive publishers want it. And again, not all publishers are like this, but some of them, if a publisher can take advantage of a financial loophole, they'll do it because it'll make them more money. So, yeah, of course. How do you think, Activision and EA, I'm not accusing them of taking advantage of things, but I would be shocked to find out that they didn't, right? Money. If they had a chance, why would they not want to make money? The publishers are not there to give you good games. That's what developers are there for. They are there to make sure the money's being spent wisely and the income outweighs the cost vastly. Otherwise, do you know what happens? You end up like Disney Infinity developers. That's what happened. When you aren't performing, this is the fear for developers and all that stuff. But do you know what, Russ?
Go on.
If 1 year... every developer, they all unionized and all the developers part of this union, and they all went, this is not right, so we're all going to go on strike, all of us. We're just now, the financial realism of that just isn't, they all need the money they would get from their jobs, and I don't know, it's just, there's so much to it. But if it were feasible and they could all just go on strike for a year, those publishers wouldn't just leave the video game industry, they'd have to cave. But then, of course, the ramifications of caving means less money for other studios, less money for new projects. Maybe you'll get your one project and you're done. There's so many just, pitfalls to all of this. Take the voice actor situation, right? SAG-AFTRA are all on strike. Cool. They get the people that aren't SAG-AFTRA and make stars out of those people, right? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying as many people as good as Nolan North. I'm not saying as many people as good as Tara Strong or Troy Baker or Laura Bailey. I'm assuming that all of those people are part of SAG-AFTRA. They tend to roll in the same circle, so I imagine so. Why, there's nothing stopping these publishers from going out there and finding the new pool of talent to replace these people. And depending on what goes down, it really could show whether or not this works and it forces publishers to budge, or if they just take a completely different approach. And I am very curious to see how this pans out, mate.
Interesting news, sir. Interesting news. Any more?
Yes, there are indeed. Let's have a quick look here. These are much quicker ones. So we've got the serious stuff out of the way. According to Kotaku, Brian Ashcraft writes, a solid gold Pikachu card for only 1,700 British pounds.
Let's get two.
Let's do this, Russ. I mean, that's how much a Switch is going to be. So... Only to mark the 20th anniversary of the Pokemon trading card game, here is a solid gold Pikachu card, he writes. Priced at 216,000 yen, which is £1,704. The card is 11 grams of 24-karat gold and is a collaboration between the Pokemon Company and jeweler Ginza Tanaka. So that's pretty much it. Nothing quite. He finishes it off by saying, nothing quite says 20 years of Pokemon like pure gold. Nothing. So there's your heart gold Pikachu. I'm waiting for the soul silver bloody Bulbasaur or something to come. But that's
Wow.
That is fascinating. If I had that kind of silly money, Ross, I probably would buy that.
You would have one. You'd have the two.
Yeah, I'd buy them.
You'd have the one to show people and the one you keep at home.
That's it, and I'd try and eat it. I don't know why. I just feel like it. Right. The final story on my list is, again, from Kotaku, because I was running short on time. The PlayStation VR outsold the PS4 in Japan, which is fascinating to me. During its first week on sale in Japan, the PlayStation VR sold 51,644 units. In comparison, the biggest selling hardware that week, the PlayStation 4, sold 30,154 units. Now, that's that week. Okay, Brian Ashcraft, I see what you're doing, right? Okay, right, because you had me going thinking that the PlayStation VR had generally outsold the PS4, and there's me sitting like...
I don't think they've made 40 million VRs yet.
that would be baffling. But again, like in Japan, I could have believed it, because they're not big on consoles at the moment. They're all about the mobile. So apparently, he's got a whole rundown of all of the sales figures from the week of the 10th of October to the 16th. Cool. And note that the PlayStation VR went on sale on the 13th. So there's a 3-day, didn't have any sales. Still sold more than the PS4s. Wow. So I think VR's doing fairly well in Japan.
Well, the sales are, incredible. And what's great about the VR thing, and we don't have any coverage because we don't have one, It's been received really, really well. There's not been anyone saying any negative things, really. I think they've said that there are better technical VR headsets, but everyone seems to be just really pleased that it's hit the market. There are some... I think the game quality is the only thing that's really a concern right now. I've not seen anything that makes you think, 9, 10 out of 10 must-play game. Everything seems a bit in the kind of 7s and 8s for quality. But it looks like it's doing quite nicely. I'm contemplating having a go of one, but my motion sickness, Dave.
I do.
If I went on something like Riggs, it would be like the scene from Family Guy. The room would just be pure vom. So
when they have the Ipecac contest, I remember that one. Riggs would become chunks is exactly what would happen. Chunky. So again, just to counterpoint, obviously, I think I naturally get more time to actually look into the live streams and all this for the PlayStation VR and all this. There's concerns over the head tracking. Apparently, the head tracking, which is a big problem in VR. If that's not right, that's a problem in VR. So apparently, there's a lot of concerns. There's a few games that are a problem. Drive Club VR is apparently awful. I've seen it in action.
Drive Club isn't particularly good anyway.
I mean, I know if anyone sat there thinking, "Oh man, Drive Club VR, the thing I've been waiting for," no, good luck with that one. But there's a lot of positive things being said, and again. One of the biggest things for a lot of people seems to be Res Infinite.
Yeah, that looks
It's
cool.
a big deal. And again, it really depends what you're talking about when it comes to 10 out of 10 games. For me, I'm looking at VR. VR is there's a lot of people calling the word gimmick and all that, and proper noun gimmick, yes. Gimmick as in marketing ploy, no. I think VR is definitely here to stay. I do think it provides a completely different avenue into video games in a way that you didn't have before, as well as the idea that everyone's like, it's just it's like Kinect all over again. There's a lot of people saying that. I'm saying no, it's not, because Kinect demanded that you get up and you jump around in a
get up. That was it. Done. It requires you to get up. No,
get up.
No, sorry. No.
Now, don't get me wrong. There is one. The HTC Vive does that, but it does it with purpose. You have room scale. Yeah. You dedicate a room to it. That's what you need for that. Whereas, the PlayStation VR, you sit on your couch still. You just put the headset on. Now, that's not ideal for someone like you, Russ, with a family, and you got kids at home. You can't necessarily throw a mask onto your face every single day. So, for me, on the other hand, well, again, I'm a carer, so that's the same for me to an extent. It is difficult, but I do believe you don't want a 4-hour VR experience. I don't think you want that. I think you want an hour. You want 2 hours of a really enjoyable, immersive. I am in a completely different world. I was saying to my cousin Jason, we're playing Warcraft because we're back on the Warcraft kick again because of Legion. And
PC
I was saying, can you imagine? Wow. Oh man, I wish I was a real PC gamer in a way. I've been looking at upgrading, mate. I'll get into that at another point. We don't have the time today. But I'll tell you right now, I was looking at Warcraft and I was like, I saw someone playing it on ultra settings on YouTube, and I was like, man, if they did a Warcraft, like, walk around one of the forests in like this game, like in say the Oculus Rift, ooh, I would be there. I'd be like, okay, because what I think VR will do better than anything else is experiences. There's a lot. Again, the Kind of Funny guys say that the thing they'd most recommend to people that don't play games is that Shark Tank thing, where you go in the Shark Tank inside the VR.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. I like stuff like that. I could play. I look at some games and think, motion sickness, crazy. Cannot play that. But at the same time, I look at some other things and I think, I really want to experience that. That looks calming. Eagle Flight's an interesting one. It's kind of in between. That looks like it could be fun and it looks kind of nice, but again, the floaty nature of it could make me not like it. But yeah, those experiences like going in the Shark Tank and stuff, they do appeal to me. And the one thing about the mainstreamness of VR that the PlayStation VR has brought is the fact that it sparks an interest. I want to know what it feels like to be in it, even though it's not something I would put as something I would want to do normally. I am interested and I would like to experience it, but I'm not shelling out that amount of money until I know for a fact I can enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a console price, that's the thing, and don't get me wrong, I think it's a reasonable price for what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure you feel the same way, but as you say, it's a financial investment with not a lot of proof at this time, and essentially you're an early adopter. Early adopters always get burnt, always, and that is something you either learn to live with. I wish either of us could really afford to do this right now, but again, like you say, £400, I'm just not there at dropping it. And again, they're quite hard to get hold of at the moment over here. Yeah. So I could, unless I've got 400 quid on hand, and then I'd need to buy the Move controllers as well,
and the camera.
The camera's included in the 400 bundle.
Good. Good.
But again, that's hard to find. So you got cameras going for like 60, 70 quid a place. Yeah. There's so many like variants to the possibilities. I want to play this, but not enough to justify not having a company that backs the two of us. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of these websites, I saw all these people getting their PlayStation VRs sent to them by Sony because obviously they've done a lot of coverage. They're big names in the industry and they cover Sony stuff. So they got these headsets. It's easy for them to just get it, but to justify me going out there spending £400 just so I can roll back on MGL and say, hey everybody, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood's all right. That's it. I can't show you that properly. I can't give you that experience the way that Giant Bomb can do their live stream. And even they say in their big studio, where they do all their stuff, even they say we will show you VR, but you won't get VR.
You gotta play it. You gotta play it. It's as simple as that, and it's why Sony don't actually show much of it. They're just very much. They've done quite a good thing in the UK. I'm sure they've done it in the States as well. They've done lots of little shopping centre style sessions. There was one up near me in Sheffield recently where people could go down and just have a go. And I think that's the thing. If there's something on where you can try it, get to it, try it, and see if it's for you or not. Right, we're going to have to wrap up, Dave. We're going to have to wrap up. I'm going to just wrap up with a very small few minutes on Battlefield 1. I've been playing a few games this week. I reviewed a wonderful indie game called Shoe, which is beautiful, platformer, 2D, gorgeous little game. It's under a tenner. There's a review on mygameslounge.com. Have a look. If you like 2D platformers, play it. It's wonderful. But I have been getting on Battlefield 1 this week. Now, I have not played any Battlefield, really. I had a quick look at someone else playing the beta when it came out, and it looked, Battlefieldy and fun. So when I played it, it was for the first time, like first hand, and it throws you into this prologue that's just brilliant. Because one of the things that I was worried about with the game was single player experience. And the fact it's based on the real World War One event. People, aren't quite of the age to remember it, but some people have got relatives still old enough. I've got one relative that's old enough to kind of remember bits of it. And it is an incredibly brutal war. And what DICE have done really, really well is create this feeling of brutality, danger, intensity, and just the fact that it was awful. They haven't glamorized this, and it doesn't feel like, hey, yeah, World War One, go shoot stuff. It's really kind of, people went in and they were not expected to survive. And the prologue, just that on its own, was a really good way to sum it up, because it just says that the words on the screen, Dave, say, this is frontline combat. You are not expected to survive. And as you play the prologue, your characters pretty much all just die. Whether you die early or you get to a point where the game kind of kills you and you move on to the next person. It was really good. I've been playing the single player stories, and I've done a really good oh dear, it's very, very egotistical of me. I've done a really in-depth article on My Games Lounge on how the war stories have really sorted out any fears that I had about the single player mode on Battlefield 1. I have dabbled in the multiplayer mode, and as my Respawn Rossco name would suggest, I did spend a lot of time respawning from my various deaths that were bloody and frustrating. But no, it's really, really good, David. I don't know if you've thought about playing it, but I am very, very impressed with Battlefield 1. I didn't get it close enough to release to do a full review. That'll be after the weekend. But yes, single player wise, they have done a very, very good job to make this game worth playing, even if you don't just want to do the multiplayer, if you're a gamer that wants to have a bit of something to do as well.
I hear what you're saying, mate. I'm intrigued by Battlefield 1. I never really doubted it. We spoke about this briefly already. I didn't doubt it for a second. It's just not my cup of tea, personally. It should be. I really enjoy first-person shooters, but because of the tendency to lean into the online side of it, for a lot of people, I feel like I'm missing something if I'm not there, but I just don't want to play that. But as you say, I may give it a go eventually when you're done. And hopefully, we can have a nice little back and forth about that in greater depth. Is there anything else you want to cover? Because I just got one quick thing to talk about.
You can finish off the show, David. We're pretty
fantastic. No worries. All right, so I'll get this out of the way because I know you got to go home, buddy, and I got a Mackey's going cold due to all the events
that
preceded
didn't eat
this.
It.
No, of course not, mate. I had to get back on the PC. It's all right. It's most of it's ice cream anyway. I don't care. So I'm playing Dragon Quest Builders at the moment. Old news for a lot of people. I know, IGN had the review up before the release. A lot of places. We didn't get the game until the Monday after the Friday release, I believe. So I've been playing. That was this Monday. I've been playing that all week, literally all week, and I am very conflicted. I thought I would love Dragon Quest Builders. I love Dragon Quest's art style. I always have. It's just such a, it's. I believe it's is it Akira Toriyama? I believe it's a Dragon Ball artist. I don't know if it's still him doing it, but I know that he kind of coined the really beautiful aspect of that art, and that's what's kind of carried over into all these games. And it does such a good job of the presentation of the game, but there are mechanics in there, the way you put blocks down, the way people can kind of get in the way of you when you're trying to, the people in your town, the quest system. I thought I'd love a quest system. I thought I'd like a more guided Minecraft.
Yeah. And
in truth, not really. I'm doing these quests and I'm like, I kind of just wish I could build this town, rather than run through all these freaking hoops. I gotta go fish a salmon. There's very vague quests at times, and there's no quest log. So if I take a quest and I forget what that quest is, I take half a day off and go do some other stuff, and I come back, there's no quest log for me to check what that quest is or where to really go do it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That's a problem. You can talk to the person that gave you the quest, and they'll tell you oh, have you done that thing yet? And then it will remind you, but it won't tell you really where to go or what to kind of do. Later on in the game, it gets a bit more dense in that sense, and it's like, oh, now things are starting to get on top of me. It's kind of, It's not hard. It's just a bit annoying sometimes. And the biggest problem with the game, in my opinion, is when you're doing a story mode, and it has an interesting story. It seems quite basic, but at the same time, Minecraft with a story with a Dragon Quest skin is quite interesting. They've put a lot of work into the dialogue, and they take the mick out of how much they make you talk. They'll start going on a lengthy diatribe, and then they'll say, "Wait a minute, why have your eyes glazed over?" And it'll be a character that does that. And it's there's funny bits like that. It has so much charm, Ross.
Yeah.
But the way it generally plays is smooth, but the UI is so clunky. So basically, with Dragon Quest Builders, I'm very conflicted between how well it's presented and how kind of poorly implement some UI features, and the things that would just be really nice quality of life improvements, like a quest log, which shouldn't have been difficult. They've had it in past Dragon Quest games. Have been more clear about how you can do your stuff. I don't know, it's a real kind of, I'm sat there like, well, where do I really put the dividing line on this? Because it's not Minecraft, but is it really trying to be Minecraft, or did it see Minecraft and try and be Dragon Quest Minecraft? It's trying to decide how I feel about it is quite a difficult kind of situation, and it's the most first world problem ever. Oh, how good is this game? I was given a code to review. It's not like I am ungrateful to play the game. It's fun.
I mean, the point is you. And we at My Games Lounge, we do get sent some games. We don't get sent all games. But the point is, we've got to play them like we've paid money, because the people out there are paying the money. And if you've got thoughts on that, and you had have spent 40 quid on that game, you would have been conflicted about the amount of money you just spent. So
if we didn't get the code, I was going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that would have been a concern, and it's. Again, it's the problem that I'm conflicted between how adorable and brilliant the presentation can be and how cleanly it works generally. But then there are just things that get in the way, Russ, and it's like, oh, I wish you didn't exist. Stop it. So I will be, again, I'm about 20, 30 hours into the game, and I didn't expect it.
It's monster.
It's a meaty campaign. If you are looking for a lengthy situation, I did not expect. I thought I'd be in and out, then maybe doing some of the free roam mode they've got in there with monsters around. Nope. You're in it for the long haul, and there are speedrun trophies. There's a lot to it, Russ, that I'm going to finish off here because I know you got to go. So, Dragon Quest Builders, still under review. Hopefully I'll have that out by next week, because we have a pile of games coming out next Friday. It just doesn't stop.
Do these people not speak to each other? Hey, excuse me. We're releasing a game in October. Anyone else releasing games in October? Yeah. Oh, everyone. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, we're releasing in October anyway, so nah.
It's like the Warriors, and the games are all the other gangs. You're just turning corners, and they're everywhere, and you just can't get away.
So anyway, there is lots of games to do. I'm on Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City Remastered over the weekend, as well as Battlefield 1. I've told the missus I will not be speaking to her for the foreseeable future, and Skyrim comes out next week, so that's us all done. Not talking.
That's a healthy marriage.
We're not talking to anybody. No, none of us. Me, you, Neil, nobody will speak to anyone, because Skyrim will be here and no one will care.
It's going to be great.
Thank you for joining us on the show, David. I have been Respawn Rossco. He has been David Game. This has been your Game and Respawn Gaming Podcast on mygameslounge.com. Get along to mygameslounge.com. We've got lots of articles and stuff going on. Reviews, as David has said, for all the millions and millions of games that are coming out. Get yourself ready. We'll be talking some Skyrim, I think, next week. It's safe to say, as well as some other gaming stuff. So make sure you tune in next week for the Game and Respawn podcast, and we will speak to you guys soon.
Bye!